Hello, everyone. Um, Today we're going to be talking about how to be a ghost hunter, and this is going to be different sections. So this section we're just going to talk about the basics and the beginning of what you need and how you would go about starting one, starting at your own team, um, and all of that. Um, so,
Hello everyone.
oh no, I'm echoing.
Um,
Okay, so you want to be a ghost hunter. First thing you want to start out with is you should probably, Steve, help me out.
Right, well, okay, first of all, you need to have some kind of faith. You need to, believe in God and the devil. Because when you start ghost hunting, later in life, when you're more into it, you are going to probably confront, demons and angels and other kind of unusual beings. Um, it's not so much faith, you need to have a good heart to communicate with the spirits. Um, I always find if you treat a spirit or a ghost with love, sorry, if you attempt to um, speak to them with love and respect, you are going to get some kind of response from them. It's not going to work straight away. It's going to take time. It took me several months before I started communicating and getting good responses from the spirits because I believe they need to kind of understand where you're coming from. They need to learn from you, trust you, um, and other kind of things. It's just like making a new friend, really. Um, you know,
Yeah,
you could meet Tom next door, and before you're going to start to trust him, you need to talk to him, get to know him, and etc. etc.
yeah, something we didn't talk about before we were on air is ghost hunting is a huge waiting game. It's just waiting for something to happen. That's like the main thing. So if you're not patient, it's not for you. But like you have your meters and everything, which we'll talk about really soon. But normally, when one small thing start happening, um, one small thing starts happening, it's going to be like a chain effect to where more and more will happen, and then it'll die down and probably pick up uh, more towards um, later in the day or night or whenever you're doing it. Which brings me to nighttime when you're investigating. The best time and the main time everybody investigates is nighttime because one, when there's sunlight out and everything, you could get false readings. Like you could think you see a like light anomaly or something go across the room when it's really y'all's chat is distracting me. um, but like
Just
you'll see light come in and you'll think, oh, there's a ghost, or you'll hear a kid talking because they're playing outside and you don't realize it, and you could think, you got a good EVP or whatever. So that brings me into equipment. EVPs is electronic voice phenomena, which is picked up by a digital voice recorder or anything that records sound. Uh, a AVP or a disembodied voice is something you hear with your own ears. And before I get more in depth with equipment, um, you have to have you can't have a weak heart. It has to be very strong. So, and you have to be prepared for whatever you see, especially if you've never seen a ghost before or a spirit. It could really hurt you if, like, the best example would be if you watch scary movies and you get scared by them, or you get scared easily. If you see a ghost, it could really mess with you um, if you don't have that state of mind. I'm passing it to Steve.
Okay, you also, when you start ghost hunting, try not to show fear. Showing fear will feed the ghost energy, because, you know, when you're scared and fearful, you know, that is actually producing some kind of energy that spirits and ghosts love to feed from you, and more fear you're giving will actually rise the high energy around you, and the ghost can actually feed off you more and more and more, because more fear you're giving, more energy you're giving, and more fear you're actually giving them, uh, you know, they are going to scare you even more. So try and go in there with an open mind. Try not to be fearful. If you're going to be scared of a place, don't even go there, because, like, you know, any kind of like movement, sound, knock, tap, shadow, you know, all that is going to give you fear. So you need to go in there with an open mind and try to debunk some of this stuff. And we're going to be talking about debunking in another little series later on. But, you know, don't go in a place on your own if you're going to be fearful. You know, always go in a small group. If you're going to start ghost hunting, I would advise you to have at least 2 or 3 people with you, because, you know, they're there to help and protect you for one thing. You're not going to be as scared as much, and you know, having more than 4 people in a like ghost hunt investigation, or whatever you want to call it, you could be contaminating each other's like evidence. So, like, you know, if you're in like a like a castle over here in the UK, for instance, you know, you could all be in separate rooms, and you can all be doing your own stuff, you know, collecting evidence. And if you are like afraid, you know, and you think there's something in there, just call out. You know, don't scream out, because that's actually showing that you're really, really scared, and it's giving them a lot more kind of energy. Just call out to your mates and like, yeah, Thomas, come here a minute. You know, try to call them out as if you're just calling them out. Like, I can't really explain, but, you know, just say, hey, Thomas, come here. Don't, you know, hey, Thomas, come here, come here, you know, because that is showing fear. Just call them out like, you know, normal, and then, you know, when he comes, you say, look, you know, I don't feel comfortable in here. I need someone in here. You know, I think I saw a shadow over there, or some knocks, and then both of you can get together and like start debunking some of the stuff. But just don't show fear, because they will like feed off that fear, and they can cause a few more problems for you and your group.
Yeah, and be very careful with who you take. Make sure they have strong hearts, and don't. What do you think about taking skeptics, Steve? I think it's a pretty bad idea because you have to have an open mind, but it's also a good idea because if they actually see something that they can't explain, you know, it changes them a little bit. What do you
Yeah,
think?
yeah, right. You know, I think one of my nephews actually, Warren. Um, you know, when I go to Kent, I take my nephews, Aaron and Warren, on investigations, and Warren was kind of like a bit skeptical about, you know, doing ghost hunting. He didn't really believe in a lot of stuff. It's only that when we did a cemetery, and we started taking pictures, we actually caught like mist figures and orbs, and when we were using the K2 meter, it was going crazy, and he didn't understand what it was. When I explained exactly what was going on, he kind of like thought, okay, maybe there is something there. You know, why is that K2 meter going off? What is these like white blobs, dots, circles in the screen? You know, because there weren't no pollen, it wasn't raining, nothing like that, and you see all these orbs flying around. You know, the K2 meter, you couldn't understand what the K2 meter was until I explained it. That ghosts can give off an energy, and I can detect energies as well. And with the K2 actually flickering, I kind of explained to him what that was, and he said okay, and he started coming on a lot more investigations with us. So I kind of like changed a skeptic um, into a partly a non-skeptic. He's still like skeptical about a few things, but you know, he does believe a lot more in the paranormal now than he ever did do. So there we go.
And make sure each one of your group members have the same understanding and the same knowledge about what you're getting into. Make sure they don't like provoke, which is yelling and all that at them. Just be careful who you take and who you choose, especially skeptics. If they don't believe it and they see something they can't explain, they'll get scared, and that starts that whole chain thing again of getting scared and not knowing what to do, and it just makes everybody else freak out, and it's more adding on to, you know, the fear and feeding it, which can scare you even more.
And you don't want to take anyone who's going to be provocative. You know, like what I mean by provocative is like, you know, having someone who is a skeptic say, oh, I don't believe in this, I don't believe in that. You know, I think all this ghost stuff is a complete load of crap, bollocks, shit, or whatever. You know, because more of a negative thought is given, that can also give off an energy for the spirits to like feed off from, and it could kind of backfire on the actual guys who's into the actual investigation. They could be attacked or scratched or something like that because one person being an idiot and shouting and swearing at the spirits, saying that they're all false, they don't exist. You know, they, you know, once they're dead kind of thing. They can't come back. You know, they're trapped in limbo and kind of stuff. You know, showing a lot of negativity against the spirits will kind of like build up, and they could come back and attack you. So, you know, just kind of like take someone, even if they are skeptic, you know, make sure that they ain't going to start doing all this like negative stuff to make any kind of like spirit revenge on you. You know, it hasn't happened to me as of yet, but you know, luckily it won't do. But I've heard stories where people were taking people on investigations, and they gave these spirits a load of like crap, you know, swearing at them, saying they're false, they don't exist. And some of the group members who are into the group, you know, into the paranormal, they're the ones who suffered. They were the ones who have got attacked, and not the guy who was giving all the crap. So just be careful on who you take in investigations with your group.
Okay, so now that you have your faith, you have your friends. Who am I echoing on?
No, it might be me, sorry. I can't find my headphones.
So now that you have your faith, you have your friends, and you have that strong state of mind, what equipment you need to use? You need to have a EMF detector, electromagnetic field detector, which we didn't explain, but EMF, EM is electromagnetic field, and that's what scientists believe spirits are made of, and that's what we believe spirits are made of, you know, if scientists believe spirits at all. And so that's what we use, and it picks it up, and it proves so far that it actually is picking up, you know, spirits and or whatever. It's picking up that energy for sure, and it's intelligent. So, so you need an EMF detector. You don't have to go out and buy a $50 K2 meter. You can start with a ELF meter, which you can get off of ghoststop.com or Amazon, and I'll put that in the link. You could use your phone for recording, and you need some type of camera, whether it's a regular camera or IR. I say you just start if you already have a camera, um, just start with that. Steve?
Right, well, yeah, you need a K2 meter. A K2 meter measures magnetic fields, and it has been specially calibrated for paranormal investigations. The theory behind the K2 meter is that if there is a spirit in the area, the K2 meter will pick it up, its magnetic field. You can then train the spirit supposedly to intensify its magnetic field, therefore lighting up the lights on the K2 meter. The K2 has been tested and proven by no skeptic, has even come straight out and said that the K2 meter does not work. There is a serious science behind the K2 meter. The difference between the K2 meter and the standard EMF meter is that the EMF detector uses a needle to indicate the presence of energy, which goes off supposedly out of give. When the needle jumps up between 2.0 and 7.0. Whereas the K2 meter uses silver LED lights, green, yellow, orange, red, etc. Unless you've chosen a lower level of volume, a regular EMF detector will bleep and turn on, or when it detects a change of frequencies. So ghosts can give off different frequencies as well as energy. The K2 meter is soundless, but you can modify them. I've modified my one with sound on it. So what I've done is I've put like a little beeper in, so when I turn the K2 meter on, should hear it. Right, crackle. I've got my headphones on, so there we go. So you know you can modify your K2 meter. I've got a little demonstration on how to modify your K2 meter on my YouTube. So it doesn't need to be soundless. You can. I've even done it so you know you can put a switch in so you can turn the sound on and off on the K2 meter as well. So although it says that the K2s are soundless, which they are when you buy them, unless you modify them, it's great for ghost hunting and investigations where necessary. Noises is a distinction, and science is a top priority. If anyone has used this K2 meter in the past, then you know how it operates, how it works. If you don't know where to get these from, you can get these on eBay, Amazon, and other ghost hunting shows, ghost hunting websites.
Yeah, I put the link for the K2 meter, the ELF meter, and ghoststop.com in the thing below. Do research, see if you can find any cheaper, and also read up. There's some good books that you can learn before you go out there. It's good to study, but it's also good to experience it yourself. I have a few books over here, 101 Ways to Find a Ghost, and like all these other books. But I recommend the Everything Ghost Hunting book. It comes in 2 parts, and I'll put the link to that too. You can download it, or you can actually buy it, and it tells a lot of great information that helped me get started. Steve.
Yeah, sorry, I was getting some. Right, the other thing which Travis said was the EM pump. You can buy EM pumps off eBay or Amazon. I build my own. This is my standard EM pump. And then I actually make EM Pump Pros where you can actually control the volume of the actual EM. I don't really see that, but I can turn it up and down. So if I want to give a high energy out, I'll turn it all the way up. If I want to turn it down and only give a little bit of energy, then I can turn it down until like the first screen's flashing. I sell these on eBay myself. They're quite easy to build, the standard ones, but these ones are very hard. An EMF pump, theory suggests that certain energy can provide fuel for the spirits to communicate with us or manifest themselves. The EMF pump is a safer way of providing energy, which ghosts and spirits actually require. The EMF pump also creates a low-level magnetic field with varying pulses and frequencies. It starts out producing probably around about a 2 Hz pulse and can increase up to 256 Hz pulses. Unlike most EM pumps on the market that boast a high power contrast field, the actual EM pump pulse and increases in strength while changing the frequencies over. This provides a wide range of fields for the spirits to utilise. Doing this also makes it safer to be around. So really what you're doing is that you're creating an energy, and ghosts are able to use that energy to communicate further. Sometimes it's able to help them to manifest themselves into a full-blown apparition. Sometimes it just increases like orb activity, or it may even just like allow them to gather that energy to speak to you through EVP as well. So you know, EM pumps are very, very useful to have with an investigation as well. If you're going to do like a residential,
Yeah,
a
someone's
castle or
home.
any other kind of place, you know, it's always best to have 5 or 6 EM pumps so you can actually place them around the property or wherever you're going to, and then it's pumping out energy in each part of that location. You know, because you could have like activity in like the parlour for one place, and then like if you've got a knockoff camera in another place with a digital recorder, you could be getting activity in like the cellar or something, you know. So you can't be in all those locations at the same time. So you've got knocked off cameras and you've got EM pumps and K2 meters. You know, you've got, you know, a nice deep pocket going and buy out a lot of equipment. Put at least a digital recorder in the EM pump, a K2 meter in each room, and I'm pretty sure you're going to get some kind of activity in each of those rooms, even if though you're not in every single room yourself.
Yeah, EM pumps, we use them to build their energy so they don't take energy from us or our equipment, because that always sucks. Debunking. I think we should talk about that in this episode because it's like one of the main things.
Yeah.
If something happens, debunking means you try to figure out a logical standpoint before you go to paranormal. Like you hear creaking on the floors, see if anybody was walking around at that time, or see if you step down on one floorboard, will it creak somewhere else in the house? If you close one door, will it open another? Just try to
Footsteps.
find the logical reason first before you say it's paranormal.
Like, you know, if you hear footsteps, if you've got walkie-talkies and like some of you are downstairs and some are upstairs, you key up and say, look, was someone walking above us, like in the main bedroom? If they say yeah, then you can debunk that as someone was actually walking up there. If they're not, then okay, it could be paranormal. It's like tapping, knocking. If someone upstairs tried to do something like communicate with a ghost, saying, can you knock on the table twice, that knock could actually kind of like expand, and like you could hear it from downstairs, like through an air vent or something, or some kind of like heating system. So if you're downstairs and you hear 2 knocks, just key up again and say, did someone just knock if they said, yeah, we're doing the experiment, where they're saying we're asking them to knock twice, then you can actually say, okay, fair enough, I heard 2 knocks, and you know that the person upstairs was the one who actually knocked twice. If you don't hear from your colleagues and say, no, they didn't knock, then that's possibly an active spirit communicating with you.
By the way, the whole point of ghost hunting is for the peace of mind of for the peace of mind of residential people, but also you can do it just for fun by um, going to haunted places and haunted locations. Aaron asked me a question. I'll answer him in just a second. Um, but yeah, residents, they want to know if they're crazy or not, and like, my husband thinks I'm crazy, but I'm seeing a little girl run down our hallway. Um, and, you can prove or disprove that. They want to know who is haunting. Like, they're not as much bothered by it, and they want to know who's haunting. And you can just go ahead and try and grab a name, see if it's a relative that passed away recently or, someone who's been there hundreds of years. Um,
Yeah,
and
like
the
research.
last one, if they're so bothered by it and people are getting harmed, uh, they want to get rid of it. So, you'll do that. Um, try your hardest to get rid of it or see if it can harm them in a way to where, you know, you know, it
If you've got
hurts.
like some kind of like activity in your home, for instance, yeah, the best way of getting around is either inviting a group to investigate, or you could actually, what I've heard and seen, and sometimes can work, is just sit down. I know it's going to sound crazy, but just sit down and say, look, I know there's someone here. I can feel you, I sense you, I've seen you. I'm not here to cause you any harm or problems. No, if you want to stay, I'm willing to let you stay. Well, I've got goosebumps from the sudden saying it. Um, you know, if you used to live here in the past, then fine. I'm not going to kick you out. If you want to stay, you can stay. But there's grounded rules. You must not harm me or my family. You must not show yourself. You must not move things and break things. You must not show yourself in any formal matter, kind of thing. As long as you abide by those rules, then, I don't mind you being here. And also state you don't want them making a crap load of noise because it can, like, scare your children if they've got any children. If it's a haunted location you're going to, where they said, like, they've seen shadow movement and apparitions and stuff like that, what you want to do is try to research that particular location. If it's residential, see if you can, try to go to the library and research that particular piece of property. How long has it been there? Who used to live there? What used to be there before the property was like built, constructed? Did anyone die there? Because like all this kind of research helps you to understand and may even give you a better way of communicating with the spirits. Because if you find that several people died, then you've got the full names. You could go there with an EVP recorder and say, well, okay, we believe Joe Bloggs, Terry Smith, Willie Jones or whatever, that you used to live here. Is this you that's making this noise? If so, can you respond to us by saying your name, saying yes or no or whatever? Because in any kind of location, I'm damn well sure that you're going to get a name. And if you get a name that corresponds with the research you've done, at least you know that spirit is still there. There's so many ways you can communicate with spirits nowadays. It's going to take us a while to explain them, but always have a digital recorder. If you ain't got a recorder, you can't afford one, use your mobile phone. This was the first one I ever used, my Nokia E5, and I've said this many times. After my father died, I was there when he died. Actually, I said, "Come and visit me, if you can." A couple of months after he died, I was in the kitchen making coffee, and I always kept getting tugs on my shirt. And this went on for every single night for 2 weeks until I was watching Ghost Hunters or Ghost Avengers. I can't remember what one it was, but it was Ghost Hunting program, and they were saying about EVPs. You need a recorder to capture an EVP, and they explained what an EVP was. So I went in the kitchen, normal time, 9 o'clock, and as I was making coffee, I put on my mobile phone, which has got a recording facility. All I've got to do is go to media and recorder, sit there, and as I was making coffee, I just said, "Look, if there's any spirits here, can you say your name, give me a message, say anything you like?" And I put it on record, and I left it recording for about a minute and a half. As I finished making my coffee, I stopped it, went into the living room, and I played it back. And I had my first ever clear EVP, and it said, "Stephen, love you, son." And I still got that EVP today somewhere on my computer. I think it's even on my SoundCloud as well. And it was my dad's voice. And I thought, whoa, my dad's dead. How can I hear his voice? And that's what got me into ghost hunting, because I wanted to find out the truth about, EVPs and generally like hauntings and stuff like that. But that night when I caught that, I phoned up my sister and I said to her, "I've got this EVP," and she goes, "What's that?" And I explained what an EVP is, and I played it. And the first time I played it, she went, "Whoa, Stephen, that's Dad. That's Dad's voice." I said, "Yeah, I know." He goes, "Play it again," because I didn't hear what he said, but that's Dad, definitely Dad's voice. So I played it again. She goes, "That's for Stephen, love you, son." I said, "Yeah, I know." And that was the first EVP I caught on a mobile phone. So you don't need to go out and buy expensive like digital recorders. If your mobile phone's got a recording application on it, I'm pretty sure just using that might work, as a start off kind of thing. So, if that again, you could always like, if you want to start doing ghost hunting and you just want to do some experiments, just get your mobile phone, put it in a quiet room. You don't even have to say anything. You can put it on record, leave it there, leave the room, and leave the room for about 10-15 minutes and go back, stop recording and play it back and see if we've got anything. If we've got voices, then maybe, yeah, you've got some activity there. But then you've got to realise with so many EVPs, you've got to debunk them as well. You've got to make sure that there's no one outside, you've got no one, such as like noisy neighbours, make sure there's no one in the home that might have been talking at the time. So then the main three things when you are actually playing an EVP back, did someone say something at a particular time in the house? Was like, any of the children or husband or wife or son, daughter or whatever was in the house at the same time when you actually caught that? Was any of the neighbours at home having an argument or something, Was it them that you picked up? Or knocks and bangs, you need to check those out as well. Like, was it a noisy radiator? Was it your pipes banging in the background from a water system or something like that? Or a chain being pulled, when you're flushing your toilet, was it any knocks and bangs, creaky floorboards? Make sure you've got no rodents running around as well, because when you hear scratching noises, that could be a rodent scratching in the walls, and you've got to try to debunk it before you can actually class it as a full EVP. So that's the things you need to also kind of consider when you're doing EVPs. There we go. That's the EVP kind of side.
Aaron, here's your answer you asked a while ago. He asked if there is a EMF Detector app that works, and much to my surprise, there's a free app called EMF Plus. It has a little green ghost on it. It looks like this. Hold on, let me see. I don't know if you can see that, but it has all these numbers and these lights at the top. All you got to do is press 0, which is right there. Okay, and then it goes to 0. And then look at this. I have a walkie-talkie. You can see it already kind of picking up, but when I press the button, hold on. I was just playing with it a little while ago. Okay, let me see. You can kind of see it spiking up there.
Yeah,
It works really good. I can't really show it, but it works really good with the computer. Um, like I hold it up here and it's going all the way up. Um, and it works. Like you can trust it. I trust it. I wish I
the
had
only
I wish I had an EM pump so I can show you.
the only things what has been debunked with applications, even Puckster, the creator of Droid, has said do not work, are the Ghost Radar applications.
Yeah,
So don't
yeah,
get the Ghost Radar, because although you've got the Ghost Radar and it's saying, oh, there's a ghost to my left, northeast, or southwest, or
whatever.
whatever,
Yeah,
it's not doing that. It can't detect ghosts, whatever. People have made these applications just to like get your money. They're not proven to work. Pugster has actually debunked them. They don't work. I've even got about 5 or 6 on my phone where I've actually paid for some of them. Some of them are free, you can download it and try them yourself, but you ain't gonna. Like I said to Pugster one day, I was sitting here with one of those actual on my phone, and it showed that there was a spirit right next to me. And the strange thing is, I was getting like a cold spot there. But he said, yeah, but that doesn't mean it was a spirit. It could have just been like a draft or something. He's gone into these applications, and those radars do not work. So don't even bother downloading them. You know, Unless they're free, it's up to you. It's not going to give you real 100% proof that they're there. The only things which are worth doing is like as Travis done was the EMF meter. They do work because they got like a sensor kind of device in there where you can actually like pick up certain like energies. Um, there is a K2 meter thing on there as well, which sometimes may work. We're going to Ghostbox apps next week. There is a lot of Ghostbox applications now which don't work, but there are some that do work, and we'll get a list put together and let you know what ones do work and what ones don't work next week.
the, the Ovilus apps don't work.
No, I've got that. They are crap.
Um, there is okay. I got a couple apps, and I use a lot of these for ghost hunting. Like, don't get Mr. Ghost. That is that one right there. That one. You have to buy like this antenna thing for it, and it doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't work at all, and it doesn't make sense. Um, I bought the antenna thing for $30, and it was a waste of money. Um, I use I Can Hear You. That's the one next to Echovox, right there in the middle. Um, I use that, like you plug in headphones and you listen, but you would have to have a recorder going at the same time. And you can hear things real time, like you can hear any hearing aid app. Look for any hearing aid app. Um, and wear headphones and you can hear things real time, like hear EVPs as they happen. Um, I use where is it? This thing? It's a strobe light app. Um, I use it because I think that like when someone blinks and there's a spirit there and then it's not and then they blink again and it's gone. I think it could work the same way, so I use a strobe light up. And WavePad. This is also on your computer. I'll put the link for the computer one in the description below. It's free on the computer and on here, but you can buy the master's version. Like, it's only a 30-day trial, but you can just re-download it. All it is a EVP recorder. And it works really well. I've gotten really good EVPs on here. I've gotten full sentences on here. Let me show
With
you what
my
it looks
ones,
like.
Danny Bigbeard, he's got some good applications out. One I use for real-time EVP, which you do need headphones when using it, is this one here. Don't know,
Which one? Hang on. What's it called?
It's called Spirit Phone from Danny Bigbeard. When I first got this, I went to a cemetery. I was using it on my small Samsung Galaxy Mobile, which I've got somewhere. I'm always losing my mobile phones. It's supposed to work on most phones, but I only found it to work on my little Samsung Galaxy phone. I've not tried it on this one as of yet, but what happens that when I got it, I had my headphones on, walking through a cemetery, and I pressed record, and you can hear all the background noise coming through. You hear a car from like half a mile away sometimes, driving down the road. You could hear the birds tweeting. You can hear sometimes the wind blowing. You can hear like the leaves crackling under your feet when the leaves were all dried underneath. So that is a good application, because when I first used it, I even heard like voices. I actually heard a voice speaking, and I thought it was someone behind me. And as I looked, I couldn't hear no one whatsoever. I continued walking through the graveyard. This was over at Croydon, actually, when I was in temp accommodation, and you are actually recording it, so you can actually play this back once you finish doing your EVP recording. And I heard this voice, and I couldn't figure out where this person was. There wasn't no one in the cemetery apart from me, so it's kind of weird. And as I played it back, I didn't just get that voice. I picked up several voices, which were kind of really weird, and because I was only still getting into the paranormal and into ghost hunting, and there's so many applications download now. Some work and some don't work, but I guarantee you this Spirit Phone will work. It's an Android application. Install it on your Android. I think it's about £5, probably about $9. Something, I'm not sure. I can't remember the price on it now. He does update these time to time. In the menu.
Just one thing. People in the chat, go ahead and start asking questions, because we're closing down pretty soon. Okay,
Yeah.
Go ahead, Steve.
So in the menu, when you click the menu button, which is up the top there, it shows you, a few little things there, such as you can do your settings, more apps, close app, open record files. So if I was doing a recording right now, you click on that one, and it'll bring the list of your recordings up. I've only got the one now, so if I click on that one, I don't know how it's going to work. No, it's not going to work on this mobile. But you can actually play back on the recordings as well. So, before you actually buy it, check on the reviews on any application. Check the reviews. If you've got any doubts, ask the author what mobile devices they work on, because not every single application will work on every single Android phone. I've even got it on my tablet, this one here, but I've still not actually tried it yet. I've got all the applications which I think I need, but some of them I use on one device, some of them I won't even use on another device, so I'll keep them as a backup in case if my phone dies out and I've got no battery, at least I've got them on here. Because like, once you actually pay for the application, you can install it on 10 devices if you wish to.
Lisa says, I have a Kindle Fire HD, and it has apps too that some of the cell phone carries. Are some of them trustworthy? And the answer is yes. You have to be careful on which apps you pick, though. You need a, like, I have a tablet, and I use Echovox, I use Appy Droid, and I use all of those. I use WavePad on there sometimes, but you normally need like a plug-in mic or something for it to help. She says, okay, I have a special EVP with AA energy pumped combined with a spirit box radio combined. Is that advertisable of a possible fake? That's an app. It says that it has an energy pump. Yeah, I don't know about that one. What do you think, Steve? You see her, her post in the chat.
My EV5 Kindle, and it has an app too that some of the cell phones carry. Some trustworthy. I see that one. A special EVP with a energy pump combined. Not heard of that one.
Yeah, if it says it has like an EM pump,
you can't get an EM pump that I know of on a mobile phone.
Yeah. Especially if it says it's an EM pump and
Hang on, maybe she's trying to say that, if you've got an EM pump running, will that pick up EVPs more better? Maybe sometimes, yeah, if that's what you're trying to say. So I found, like, if you've got, even Simon, I think it was, try to do a little kind of like test the other day. Oh no, sorry, it was Rusty. I ain't watched the full video, but Rusty just done. What he did, he had an EVP recorder and an EM pump, which he bought for me, one similar to this, and he actually put it down, and he put his recorder down, asking questions, because the energy that's coming through here sometimes can increase the actual EVP by sound and volume. But he done a test. He asked 4 questions, and as he was recording, he had the EM pump running, but the only noise he got was from hidden beneath. He was actually like moving around a couple of times. You can actually see him moving around because his camera was coming up. So that's the only kind of audio really Rusty picked up. But I believe that, if you've got an EM pump and you've got an audio recorder, it can sometimes give you a little bit more of a result with EVPs, because the spirits are actually use the energy from the EM pump. They're gathering that energy, so they can use that energy to communicate with you in other ways, either through manifestation orbs or even through vocal. So it's worth trying. Put your recorder next to your EM pump and test it out. Trial and error. That's all it is mainly. Really, is like when you're buying this equipment, it's also a trial and error. You could see people putting a crap load of reviews saying, "Well, this app works. It works. It works." But when you get it, it may not work. So it's more trial and error. When you're downloading applications, I would advise you to do reviews. Check the reviews out before you start spending money out. Because sometimes they don't really work. I think it's all down to people actually thinking they work when they don't work. Always if you've got any doubts, contact the author and ask him.
Y'all can also test out ghost hunting apps with a EM pump if you have one. Like it proves that the spirit radar doesn't work, and it'll prove that IEMF Plus will. So if you are questioning a app, go ahead and try that if you have one.
But if you're going to buy applications for your mobile, as I said, always review it first. Got any doubts? Contact the author. I won't pay more than like $10–15 for an application, because um, sometimes they don't upgrade or update the applications, and you're stuck. You could get like an EVP recorder, for instance, and you think it's going to work, and then like several weeks later, someone else comes out and brings out even a better EVP recorder. So go for the free ones first, because some of them you get like a trial on it or a certain time period. Some of them are actually free, and to get the full version, to remove the apps, you got to pay like a small amount. Always check reviews, as I say. Buy the lower end application first, then you work up. Because you might buy an EVP recorder and you think, well, that's good, and then you can see another one which is practically the same but different features, and it could be like $20, and you could go and buy that one, thinking it's going to even be better, but it might not be any better. It might just give you the same results on the one which you got free. So always check the reviews. In doubt, contact the author or anyone who's actually bought the application. I've done that before. I've done a quick look on Google Plus, seen several people buy an application. I've actually sent a message to one of the people who've done a review and said, look, what do you think of it? Can you give me some insight? Is it really that good? If they say yeah, then I'll contact another one or two people, and they still say the same thing, then I'll go and buy an application.
Aaron says, what is the best version of Echovox?
3.0.
Yeah.
The new version. I've had Echovox from day one it came out. Since I've actually got it, the only decent ever best session I had with Echovox was on version 2, I think it was. I just came back from a cemetery. I put the Echovox on. It was a Jewish cemetery, and I actually done a record live stream. Well, we weren't live stream, but I put it on my YouTube anyway. And the Echovox was throwing everything out it could think about the Jewish people in World War II. It's strange because I just came back from the cemetery, and it was saying like death camp, gas chambers, gas, murder, Nazis, death trains, and all this other weird stuff. Even brought out the name Eisenhower, the American president at the time, I think it was. It was just crazy. I couldn't believe what it was bringing out. But that's the only real best kind of evidence I had from the Echovox. I've had one or two other ones, but you ain't. As I said before, you're not going to get really good evidence on any kind of application straight away. It could take days, weeks, even months before you get a good result on them. There was a bit of an argument with Echovox a little while ago. I'm not going to go into it, but it's kind of been resolved and forgotten about now. Even got my name dragged into it, and I delete every single one of Danny's applications at one particular time. But I thought, no, screw it. I've paid for it. I'm going to put them back on, which I did do. But there's an argument between Danny, Mark Colstrom, and a few other people. But I've just been told now that it's gone under the bridge, forgotten water kind of thing. Everyone's made up, and even Danny is put the thumbs up with Mark's new paranormal ghost box. If you've not seen the new ghost box what Mark Colstrom's made, I'm pretty sure Travis will put the link up soon. It's free of charge. This ghost box is continually scanning live through the radio stations from Steve Hutley's home. So it's a good application. We tested it last night. when I was doing a live stream, when I was doing Ghost Box EVP sessions. The only thing is, it is kind of fast. It's run probably about 100, 150 milliseconds. It's continuously scanning, and it's hard to hear on some of the replies. But if you've got an audio recorder or a digital recorder, this is the way I do it. Any EVP application I use, such as Echovox or Ghostbox or Mark's new Ghostbox application, I'll get a camcorder and I'll record the session. And after I finish the session, I'll upload it onto my YouTube, and then I can play it back at either the same speed or slow it down or keep rewinding it, kind of like going back a little bit to see what I might have heard, or if there was like any correspondence to the questions I was actually asking. Because with some of the applications, with like real proper ghost boxes, such as these ones, always do a video recording, because you don't know what real answers you're getting when you're using them, because many times I've asked questions thinking there's no replies, but when you play it back, you'll be surprised what replies you are getting. So that's a hint for you. Record your video, record it through video if you can, or on an EVP recorder, and then play it back slowly, because I'm damn well sure you're going to hear replies to the questions you've asked.
I think we should be wrapping it up now.
Okay.
When's our next one going to be? Next Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday we're going to go on about probably a bit more about debunking, and we're going to talk about
deeper into the
ghost boxes. Ghost boxes, I think, would be a good one. Maybe another type of EMF device. We could also talk about the Obelisk 3 if you're up to that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So like ghost boxes, the Obelisk 3, debunking.
We'll talk about it off screen.
Yeah, we'll talk about it off screen and let you guys know more before we do the live stream on Wednesday.
If y'all have anything that you want us to go over, go ahead and post it in the chat, and we'll look at it.
Or like when we finish, when we close the chat down, just put your questions in the comment section, and we'll check out the comment section, time to time, see what questions you want, and we'll write them down, and we'll try to get answers for you.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, all the links for everything we talked about is in the description below. Like this, share it to people who want to be ghost hunters, or if you want to be a ghost hunter, follow what we've said.
Hope it's helped you out.
Yeah, thank you for coming. We got more coming next week. So thank you all, and stay tuned for the rest of the videos.
Don't forget to put the link in for Mark Coulson's free Ghostbox app.
I didn't know where to find it.
Alright, I'll give that to you and you put it in the comment below.
Alright, free spirit box and the link in the description. Alright.
We'll do that as soon as I find it. Okay, cheers for watching. Catch you later in the week.
Thanks.